Good morning, Mrs. Hamilton. That's Mrs. Ray Hamilton. She's from Wellsville, Ohio. She's a fan of today, visiting New York this morning. She's a postal clerk back in Wellsville. Last time she and Mr. Hamilton were in New York was back in 1919, and she says it's changed since then. She collects glassware and pictures, and she's watching
Today, and it's Wednesday, November 20th, 1957. The time is right on the hour, and we're right in the exhibition hall on 49th Street in New York City. A very full exhibition hall this morning, I'd say. Here's Dave.
I didn't know you knew I was here. You could hear me breathing. Good morning to you. And how are you about the world this morning? Let's see what shape it's in. There's a glimmer of hope here. Missiles, anti-missiles, and electronic devices that might make missiles ineffective. I think I better try that again. Because it's true, it's important, and it's complicated. And all of those things you have to get these days. Missiles, anti-missile missiles, and electronic devices that might make anti-missile missiles ineffective. Those three things are being discussed in the Pentagon at secret meetings. General Maxwell Taylor is urging a speed-up of the defense program, which might cost $6 billion. For details of this news, here's our news chief, Frank Blair.
Good morning, everybody. General Taylor, the Army Chief of Staff, has proposed the all-out program to develop the anti-missile missile according to Pentagon sources. Taylor believes such a weapon is our best defense against the intercontinental missiles the Russians have claimed they developed. The Army, the Air Force, and the Navy are now working on such a weapon. The Army is using its Nike Zeus as the basis for the work. The Air Force calls its anti-missile missile the Wizard. They estimate the weapon could be operational in 3 to 4 years if $6 to $7 billion were available. The weapon would be capable of tracking and destroying the Russians' intercontinental missile while it is en route to a target. One of the developments making these new weapons possible is the reduction in size of electronic components like the transistor. Army scientists display the tiny new transistor on a man's fingertip in a comparison with the older equipment 10 times its size. Our Defense Department is also speeding up rocket production. Secretary McElroy, after talks with the President, announces that we will start supplying intermediate-range missiles to Britain and then our other European allies in less than 2 years. The rocket speed-up is expected to mean a reduction in our military manpower and our bases here at home. French Foreign Minister Christian Pinot has scheduled a meeting this morning with Adlai Stevenson, the State Department's special advisor on NATO matters. Some Washington observers believe that Stevenson is now taking a more active part in the preparation of the NATO proposals. He had said that he would restrict himself to comments on ideas formulated by the administration. Pinot had a successful talk with Secretary Dulles yesterday. After their get-together, Washington announced that we have no immediate intention of sending any more weapons to Tunisia. In the future, we'll consult with both France and Tunisia if other arms shipments are planned. France, you know, is concerned that the weapons might eventually fall into the hands of the Algerian rebels. French civil service workers returned to work this morning after striking for 24 hours to protest the freeze on their wages. Riot police in Paris held back several thousand strikers who planned a march on the National Assembly during the walkout, which closed most schools and government agencies. Soviet Russia tightened its grip on Egypt today at the invitation of President Nasser. In answer to an urgent appeal from Nasser, the Kremlin has agreed to give Egypt economic and technical assistance. The new agreement was hammered out in Moscow meetings between Kremlin leaders and Egyptian War Minister General Abdel Hakim Amer. General Amer was host to the Russian leaders at a party at the Egyptian embassy in Moscow. Kruchev, Bulganin, and other Soviet brass often use so-called social events as a background for diplomatic horse trading. The new Soviet-Egyptian agreement is couched in vague language with details to be made public later. Western observers in Moscow say Nasser apparently hopes to get Soviet arms on credit, thus freeing Egyptian funds to help bolster the very shaky Nile economy. In announcing the pact, Premier Bulganin said Soviet contributions to Egypt would be selfless based on mutual interests. The big question is how long the Soviet-Egyptian honeymoon will last once Khrushchev begins to demand an accounting of any loan or grant he makes. NBC Washington correspondent Frank McGee has learned that Cuban rebels plan to name a provisional president within the next month. The rebels also are planning to step up their raids in an attempt to take control of the government of President Batista. Meanwhile, in Miami, a federal grand jury is investigating the activities of aliens opposed to Batista. They'll soon have 31 hot witnesses for questioning. Federal customs agents in Florida are holding 31 Cubans who were loading a 35-foot yacht with supplies destined for the guerrilla fighters of Fidel Castro. Crates aboard the yacht near Key West included a shipment of machine guns, ammunition, and medical supplies. Castro's Cuban rebel forces depend on these shipments from outside the country to continue their raids against the Batista government. Civil aeronautics officials at Long Beach, California, are studying the recovered debris of that stratocruiser that crashed in the Pacific, killing 44 persons. Investigators believe that a defective propeller may have broken loose and ripped through the cockpit of the airliner. A violent explosion at a coal mine in Scotland has killed 17 miners. Nearly 300 other men who were in the mine managed to scramble to safety. In Seattle today, Dave Beck testifies at the grand larceny trial of his son, Dave Beck Jr. Congressman Wright Patman, the chairman of the Small Business Committee, says the government may funnel money to Federal Reserve banks to provide easier credit. There you have today's top news. Now, here's Dave.
You have an idea you might want to go someplace, just meet somebody? Lots of nice folks out there, you know, right in back of you. Look at the young man right in back of you there. Here. This one over here. Or this gentleman. Oh, you're picking your own, huh? Ladies for him. Some player. While he selects a few more, what he can do, go on Wide Wide World? Go ahead. I'll hold it for you. Sure, up the daisy. Now, Dave, proceed. I'd say that's fairly hazardous duty. Sure. No ham and him. Much. I think we'll let a little Henri Renee here while we see some of the pleasant folks outside the window. Come down wherever you are. The weather, come down, and we'll find out what it is today. And it is today, too. There's a nice line. And we'll put another one in, if you don't mind, along about here. For northern Maine, scattered showers. There's a big high down here, and that's causing pleasant fair weather from practically coast to coast in the south, up through Massachusetts, in fact. Fair today. To the north of that, partly cloudy over through this belt, And in here, snow. In this area here, heavy snow. That area is Wisconsin, Michigan, down as far as about Flint or so. Out west, there'll be morning clouds in there really, but clearing in the afternoon will be fair. And there you are. That's the forecast for this date. Here are the low temperatures this morning, ranging from 10, the freezing line, or just below it, runs down to Portland, to West Virginia, up to Chicago, almost, Davenport at least, down near Wichita, and out through Seattle. It'll be no higher than 60 in Florida today. And the time, 12 minutes after. Time for a station break.
The one and only Groucho on You Bet Your Life, Thursday.
Jack,
Dave, yes.
come on over for a minute, will you?
Certainly.
You've all heard of electric trains, I'm sure. Something new in the way of mobile electric gadgets, however, done over by Polk's Hobby department store here in Manhattan. I think it's a real tiger myself. Of course, I'm a sports car guy. It's a Grand Prix auto race, see?
This whole thing is a Grand Prix. Oh, look at here, the checkered flag.
Checkered
too.
flag you got. Here are the two cars on the starting line. This is the Ferrari. You play the Ferrari, and you can be, well, make that a Maserati, because it really is. You'd be Fangio, the world champion driver. See?
Fangio, that's me,
Yeah.
or this is me?
No, this is you here. Fangio, world champion driver. I'm over here in the van wall.
Do you want to take a driver to put in there?
Oh, I've got to have a driver, please.
Oh, sure.
Here
I'll
I
try to
come.
get one here. This fellow's glued in, I
He
think.
doesn't want to leave his car?
Well, he might come
Oh,
out.
poor fellow.
Yes, he does, too. No? Yeah? Yeah, he's going to
Here
make
he
it.
comes.
There
Good.
you are.
Now, I'll get in. I didn't know I was without a driver there.
No, you got
Better to have a driver.
Always.
Now, I'm Sterling Moss in the van wall there, see?
Yeah. And who am I again?
You're Man Fangio,
Mon Fangio.
or Juan Manuel, if you like, but they call him Man.
All right.
Now, here's your accelerator pedal right there, see?
Yeah.
Now, 5 laps is the winner.
Mhm.
And, Helen, dear, would you wave the checkered flag for us?
Yes, Helen?
When
If
you
you
wave
will,
the
please.
flag and drop it, away we go. Let's test our engines here.
Nothing's happening
No.
yet.
Let's do that. No, that's better.
I think you got it in reverse.
No.
Okay.
Good.
Whoops.
Up off the grid there. Back
Here
up, please.
now.
All right.
3 minutes.
No cheating.
Three minutes. Well, we'll do it here. Won't be long now. All right. Go. Go, man. Push, Dave. I'm caught on the grid.
Well, there's one lap.
Hey, there he goes.
There's 2 laps.
I got to catch him.
Oh!
Go, boy. You spun out. Hey, I'm on your track. Oh, this is wrong. I can't pass you. Watch out. You spun out, Jack. Careful with curves. Coming in the North Country, going 100 miles an hour. A little faster. Oh, crap.
I think I made it.
You did. You won. I didn't get off the grid here. Our accelerator pedal stuck. I think that's
Is that what happened?
yeah, I think so. Come on in and enjoy life.
One
more
over here
race.
again. I
Gee.
see that he's on there. all
Just
right.
a minute. I have to make a few mechanical adjustments. The carburetor's wrong here. And now.
There you are. You ready to go
Ready?
again?
5 more laps for the World Championship this time.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I'll be sure I'm... Yes, I'm ready.
1, 2, 3.
I got you now, buddy. Watch your corner,
Nah.
yeah. Oh, you're dropping behind, Jack.
Oh, you're going to spin out, Dave.
No, you're in trouble now. Oh, you're a half
Oh,
lap
no,
behind.
I've got to take a
Go,
chance
boy.
here.
You're falling behind, boy.
No, I'm coming up on you,
Come in the
Dave.
north turn. Brake,
Like a
power.
shot, I'm coming up.
Brake, power.
Winner!
There's the girl. Come on.
Winner?
Sure.
Hey, something's wrong. I wasn't pushing my button. I'm on the same track as you.
You can't win on my track. You got to be over here.
That's what I say. I was giving it all the power and nothing was happening.
Could it be I put you on the wrong track, Jack?
Well.
That could. Let's change cars then. I think you perhaps have a disadvantage here.
Really?
I being the better driver.
This 2 out of 3?
Yeah. And I've just won 2. No, it's even, isn't it? That's right.
Even now.
Let's check our engines here now, because we've changed cars now.
I'm all
All right,
set.
you all ready? All right, World Championship, here we go.
Ready, set,
Go. On the rail, I'm ahead. Oh, come on, Jack, don't fool around there.
Oh, I'm not going to, Dave.
I can't lose now.
Oh,
Whoa!
oh, can't lose, eh?
Put me
Can't
down.
lose, eh?
Get me out from under that car.
Whoa! Say there, for the
No
World
driver.
Championship.
No driver, don't get it. Looks as though I'm in trouble now.
There you are.
Just a minute, would you send the ambulance out, please? He fell out, yes. Put him back in all alone.
some Band-Aids.
What was that last? There's a good boy. Well, you can see it go on all morning for us. Kind of exciting, though. What are you doing?
I don't know. I got him up that far, but he won't go any farther.
This is the power control here. It might be interesting to try it the other way. See what happens. Anything?
Right into the fence.
Yeah. What happens if you put them on the same track, different ways,
Yes.
and then push the button, Jack?
Oh! That was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that was startling. I don't get why this one doesn't move off the line there. He maybe go if you... Now.
No, you got all the juice on the other side, I guess. You spun out.
I spun out. He wants to go forward, doesn't he?
Certainly does.
I'm in danger. Well, we have to go fix the fenders now. Thank you very much. There'll be a few fender repair jobs there to do. That's a great little toy, though, for a toy. I wouldn't exactly even call it a toy. It's a... You brought me a bell? I don't know. He's so whimsical these days. He's here and he's not here. He's there and he's not there. He brings a bell or he doesn't bring a bell. What's the immaculate significance of this bell? You won't talk, huh? I'll talk to you then. This is still National Children's Book Week, you know. And you're looking at one of the books I was going to read the poems from. You like poetry? Well, I'm glad you do. Poetry is the great hope of man. Let me read you a couple of poems here. This is A Little Laughter, it's called, by Catherine Love. Compiled by Catherine Love. The poems are by some of the various people. The one El Lama, he's a priest. The two El Lama, he's a beast. And I will bet a silk pajama there isn't any 3 El Lama. Well, let's see now. Oh, this is called Allotephany. Once there was an elephant who tried to use the telephone. No, I mean an elephant who tries to use the telephone. Hear me, I'm not quite certain, but even now I've got it right. However, he got his trunk entangled in the telephone. The more he tried to get it free, the louder buzzed the telephone. I fear I'd better drop the song of Ella Hop and Telephone. Now you're getting interested in it. The lion is the beast to fight. He leaps along the plain. And if you run with all your might, he runs with all his mane. I'm glad I'm not a Hottentot, but if I were, with outward column, I'd either faint upon the spot or hie me up a leafy palm. The chamois is the beast to hunt. He's fleeter than the wind. And when the chamois is in front, the hunter is behind. The Tyrolese make famous cheese and hunt the chamois or the chasms. I choose the former, if you please, for precipices give me spasms. Pretty funny? Well, that's nice. There was a young lady of Niger who smiled as she rode on a tiger. I think I better do that one again right now. There was a young lady of Niger who smiled as she rode on the tiger. They returned from the ride with the lady inside and the smile on the face of the tiger. Wonderful drawings, aren't they? Speaking of wonderful drawings, Kay Thompson is going to be on the show this morning with Eloise in Paris, the light-hearted girl herself, the two light-hearted girls. It is Children's Book Week and lots of good things coming out. I haven't read some of these, so they're as surprising to me as they are to you. Here's one called The Common Cormorant. The common cormorant, or shag, lays eggs inside a paper bag. The reason, you will see, no doubt, it is to keep the lightning out. But what these unobservant birds have never noticed is that herds of wandering bears may come with buns and steal the bags to hold the crumbs. This is my favorite. Hilaire Belloc wrote this. A centipede was quite happy until a frog in fun said, "Pray, which leg comes after which?" This raised her mind to such a pitch, she lay distracted in the ditch, considering how to run. If you've ever been a centipede, you know how he feels. The elephants. When people call this beast to mind, they marvel more and more at such a little tail behind, so large a trunk before. That's a long one there. Goes on. Oh, Mary Freeman. The ostrich is a silly bird with scarcely any mind. He often runs so very fast he leaves himself behind. And when he gets there, has to stand and hang about till night, without a blessed thing to do, until he comes in sight. Did you ever move that fast? Oh, you're just getting nervous now. Just because it's Children's Book Week. I'll read one more poem. I've got to find it in here. I'll be with, The Mumps. Elizabeth Roberts. I had a feeling in my neck, and on the sides were two big bunks. I couldn't swallow anything at all because I had the mumps. Mother tied it with a piece, and then she tied up Will and John, and no one else but Dick was left that didn't have a mump rag on. He teased at us and laughed at us and said whenever he went by, "It's vinegar and lemon drops and pickles just to make us cry." Oh, please. That's not the attitude at all. But Tuesday Dick was very sad and cried because his neck was sore, and not a one said sour things to anybody anymore. He can be kind and gentle as well as funny. You never had the mumps, do you? You aren't subject to all the ills that our flesh is heir to, are you? You don't get mumps, and you don't get whooping cough, and you don't get, as far as I know... Oh, you do? I didn't know. My, you are affirmative this morning. Somebody's been yesing you, huh? I see. Oh, your master has. He's been talking to you? He must have been. You can't say no, though, can you? Can you say no? That's a pretty good try. Well, you've said enough for the time being. If you don't mind, we'll pause here for a station break, and then we'll be back with some grown-up adult features. While there's still time. 24 after.
Agnes Moorehead guest stars on the exciting Wagon Train tonight.
25 minutes past the hour. Oh, heavens to Betsy.
Yes.
Who do you think you are, Scrooge?
Yes. Humbug. Programs.
Scripts.
Scripts.
Temps.
Why don't they tell me?
I don't know.
Maybe it's better they don't tell me.
Maybe everybody thinks somebody else told you.
Yes, I think that's right.
They hit them all in the head.
And it comes out just as well somehow. We have, for example, temperatures. Now, no one told me what the temperature is in Abilene this morning.
Well, you just have to look at the temperature list.
No, it doesn't tell you what the temperature in Abilene is this morning.
Why not?
It just doesn't have it on. It has the predicted high temperature in Abilene this morning.
Oh, well, it may be at its peak right now.
It's hotter than you think in Abilene. Everything is, and here comes the list. Joe Reisman along here. Where's our town? Here she comes. Opportunity, Nevada, of which there is quite a bit. Ask anyone who's been to Reno.
The gaiety and charm of America's innocent years, Thursday.
Finding the right man for the right job is one of the biggest headaches in the world today, especially during the shortage of engineers that we're having. This is an IBM machine with its cover off here, which is doing an important job of helping to find the right job for the right man. We'll be talking about it a little later this morning on a program called...
Today, November 20th, 1957. It's Wednesday and half past the hour. And I have my own little IBM machine. His name was Mort Werner. And now here's Dave Garroway.
Much more complex circuit, too. Mort was the first producer of this program, and a very great man. Well, the news itself. Washington reports indicate this morning that the U.S. and France have agreed on a Tunisian arms plan. For that story, its details, its implications, here's our news chief, Frank Blair.
Good morning, everybody. Diplomats say an agreement has been reached between Secretary of State Dulles and French Foreign Minister Pinault during a 3-hour talk at the State Department yesterday. The plan reportedly calls for a means of supplying Tunisia with arms in such a way that French tempers can cool, thereby patching up the rift in the Atlantic Alliance. Pinault will confer with Adlai Stevenson and United States defense officials today before departing for New York. Stevenson, following his meeting with Pinault, will fly with Mr. Dulles to Chicago, where Dulles is scheduled for an evening speech. In France, meanwhile, Premier Félix Gaillard has called his cabinet into session to outline details of his battle against French inflation. The National Assembly yesterday granted Gaillard special powers to cope with that pressing domestic problem. The German-speaking residents of the province of Bolzano in northern Italy held the greatest public demonstration since 1918 to demand full autonomy for their area. More than 20,000 members of South Tyrol People's Party gathered outside Bolzano, formerly Bozen, in pre-World War I Austria, to protest what they term the Italian failure to give them home rule in German-speaking areas. The rally was an orderly one, although Italian police were placed at strategic points in case of trouble. The chief speaker was Dr. Silvius Magnano. This latest trouble flared up when Rome announced it was planning a housing project for 900 families in Bolzano. The Germans immediately charged that the project is actually designed to bring in more Italian families to alter the province's ethnic makeup. Although Austria and Italy have agreed on autonomy for the Germans of Bolzano, the dispute has dragged on for years. The United States and Canada have announced the locations of 21 airstrips which serve a like number of DuLine secret radar stations. The DuLine was established to provide early warning of any attack across the top of the world. The 21 airstrips serve radar stations across the northern section of North America and range roughly along the 68th and 70th parallels. The locations have been made public so that planes flying through those zones may file advance flight plans. Egypt's War Minister Abdul Hakim Amer is en route to Cairo this morning with a new Soviet agreement for economic and technical assistance to Egypt. Premier Bulganin announced the Russian aid pledge at a Kremlin banquet last night. In Washington, Army Chief of Staff General Maxwell Taylor will reportedly push for a speed-up program to develop an anti-missile missile. Here's the first sketch of a proposed nuclear-powered merchant vessel. The government has awarded a $20 million contract to a Camden, New Jersey shipbuilding firm to begin work on the revolutionary new craft. A new Soviet boycott threat in the United Nations augurs to a complete breakdown of disarmament talks in New York. Western diplomatic observers say that Russia is seeking to force the United States into a summit conference on disarmament and thus the boycott threat. Federal agents who intercepted 31 Cuban revolutionaries near Key West, Florida, say that they will take the rebels before a Miami grand jury today. The grand jury is investigating the activities of Latin agitators in Florida. The 10th or tin wedding anniversary is being celebrated this morning by one of the world's better-known couples, Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip of Great Britain. The BBC has scheduled a special TV program in honor of the event titled 10 Royal Years. Now here's Dave with more news.
A coal mine explosion and fire in Scotland reportedly has killed 17 miners. 4 men survived the underground blast at the Kames Colliery at Muirkirk, but suffered burns. A spokesman for operators of the huge mine say that rescue workers have recovered 2 bodies, but that 15 have been given up for dead. The American Medical Association has announced it will strongly oppose a bill in Congress to provide hospital and medical benefits to elderly persons whose only income is Social Security payments. A statement issued by Dr. David Allman of Atlantic City, New Jersey, asserts the proposal is, to quote him, clearly socialized medicine for a segment of the American people. And that's the news. He always comes through at 36 after. Yes, it is, 36 after right now. He's right on time this morning. You don't like throwing away money any more than I do you? I hope not. So why use expensive medicated shampoos to remove dandruff? With a 59-cent bottle of Fitch around, who needs it? Watch here.
Imagine a shampoo so effective it gets rid of embarrassing dandruff with one lathering, but won't dry hair, won't split the ends, won't leave a medicinal odor. This wonderful formula is new Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo. One lathering removes dandruff, can brighten hair up to 35% too without harsh medication. No other shampoo or dandruff treatment does both things this faster, safer one lather way. Fitch is so effective it floats away dandruff without the need for harsh medication. Relieves dandruff itch too. Only shampoo guaranteed to do this with one safe, easy lathering or money back. What's more, Fitch is the only special dandruff treatment and rich shampoo combined in a clear liquid that doesn't leave dulling film. Contains no strong medication. Gentle enough to use for every shampoo. Then dandruff need never be a problem again. Hair can be brightened at the same time without harsh medication. Get marvelous new Fitch Dandruff Remover Shampoo today.
Remember, there is nothing like Fitch. No harsh medications. And at 59 cents, Fitch saves you money. Lots of it. Now, here's Jeff.
The Hot Stove League is plenty hot. The first big player deal of baseball's Hot Stove League is about to be announced. It involves the Detroit Tigers and the Kansas City Athletics, and the biggest name player in the deal is one that everybody's after, Billy Martin, the scrappy former New York Yankee who was traded to Kansas City last season. Martin will go to the Tigers in a 13-play deal, along with 6 other Kansas City players, including Gus Zernial. In return, the Tigers will give up 6 players, among them outfielder Bill Tuttle and catcher Frank House. 2 pro basketball scores last night. The St. Louis Hawks turned back the New York Knicks 118 to 115. And the victory puts the Hawks back in first place in the NBA's Western Division. In the other game, Cincinnati beat Detroit 92 to 95. The Boston Celtics star Bob Cousy is recovering rapidly at his home in Worcester, Massachusetts. That's his wife serving him some refreshment. Cousy is discarding his crutches, and a scheduled operation on his swollen right thigh has become unnecessary. Good news to the Boston Celtics. He expects to begin practicing again in a week. Well, for years, the grunt and groan boys of professional wrestling have provided the public with some riotous fakery. But last night in Madison Square Garden here in New York, things got a little out of hand. Several hundred fans swarmed into the ring when a tag team was disqualified. They were swinging chairs, umbrellas, and whatever other weapons they could lay their hands on. There were no serious injuries, but it took a detail of 30 regular policemen to restore order. There you have today's sports, and now here's Dave.
Break it off right here at 40 after.
Visitors besiege their model home. Don't miss the People's Choice Thursday.
Don't forget Kay Thompson this morning. 8:42. It's a while to wait yet, but it's worth waiting for if you can. Tomorrow on Today, Leo Egan from WBZ TV will be our sports guest. And Bonnie will be here with new ideas about how to keep fit and look fit as she does. Bonnie Pruden. And Mr. and Mrs. Harold Simon will bring some of their wonderful children's books in, too. It's being National Children's Book Week. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day that's... I always go by about this time. It's 41 minutes after. Right on the nose. Remarkable. The time right now is... I say that... Huh? Oh, you're saying shh to the machine? Shh, never shh a machine. They don't shh very well. Time really is 52 minutes after, seriously speaking. And time to do a bit of window shopping, I'd suggest. So grab your hats and grab your coats and bring the youngsters, and let's see what Christmas has in store for fun-loving families. And there are some right here. Real fun lovers. Take a look.
An Evinrude motor is many gifts. It's one thing to young Jack, another for Jill, something else to Mom. And of course, it has a special meaning for Dad, too. Best of all, you can have this million-dollar fun on a budget. And with Evinrude, you get all that's new. Revolutionary V4 power. New sound-sealed white. The most glamorous styling on the water. There's smooth and able Evinrude power for any kind of boating fun. 11 new Evinrudes in all, from 3 to 50 horsepower. They'd love it. So would you. For just a few dollars down, your family gift can be a 1958 Evinrude. Talk it over with your Evinrude dealer.
What there is in your future at your Evinrude dealers is fun, real fun. So go after it. Ask them about the Evinrude gift certificate and the easy payment plan. A wonderful family gift for everybody in the team. See the new 1958 Evinrude motors right now, like this beautiful one here. V4 power. You'll find your nearest dealer listed in the yellow pages of the dear old phone book under Outboard Motors. Match. Evinrude. You're pretty too. Well, here comes the little clock going around. When it gets down here, you won't see us anymore. This is known as pad time in here. Every program has pad time, you know. Some do it with announcements of who was just on the program you saw. Others, if there's no pad time, do it by taking out the rear end of the program and throwing away the names and credits. Some programs come out right on the nose, like this one just didn't. Hold on.
Are women drivers necessary? See Father Knows Best tonight.
5 minutes before the hour is the correct time right now. And it's about time.
I'll say it's about time. Now, let's see if your about time is the same as my about time.
Well, my about time is that Matt Dennis, I don't believe, has ever recorded a torch song of any kind.
That wasn't my It's About Time, but I go along with you.
I mean, you know, he's a lot of his compositions, a lot of nice friendly things, a lot of things with good humor.
Violets for Your Furs.
Yeah, but that's not a torch tune. But this is.
Plainly and frankly.
Yeah.
What I was going to say, it's about time we played a number out of my new album.
Oh, yes.
And this is.
All right, go.
Are you going to start cleaning the windows on this show, too? We'll all be out of a job. Don't tell me you can do everything now. Oh.
Agnes Moorehead guest stars on the exciting Wagon Train tonight.